Graduation happened, so graduation happened a few weeks ago, and as most of you know, I coach high school debate, and I struggled with this last year and again this year, and that's the feelings that you have saying goodbye to students, and I wondered if other educators go through the same thing. So the debate season is 7 to 8 months long, depending on if we attend 1 or 2 state championships, which requires traveling. And it's super confusing as to why there are 2 state championships. I won't get into that. So a lot of times I have students, like last year I had 4 students that I had all 4 years of their high school career, and I had them for 8 months. So you see somebody every week for 8 months a year. For 4 years, it's very hard to say goodbye. And this year was also really hard. And I remember saying to another debate coach last year, I said, isn't it really hard? I mean, sometimes you have a student or a class that's really special. It's just really hard to say goodbye. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I wondered if I was the only one who felt that way. And he just looked at me like he didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, surely you bond with students or certain classes after seeing them. The thing about coaching debate is that you're traveling with people to competitions. You're spending a lot of time on a school bus together, which can be really uncomfortable if it's like a 4-hour ride. You are with this person, you see people in their pajamas, right, at the state championship. And I think you know a person's true character when things don't go their way. And so debate affords a lot of opportunities to see people. It's easy to be nice when you're winning. It's harder to keep your cool when things don't go your way. And so last year, I just found it really hard. We said goodbye to that class that we had. Those kids, they were friends with each other before high school. They knew each other since like elementary school, and the guys were best friends with each other and the girls were best friends with each other. And I'd never done this before, but when we were done with this school season and we came back to the high school from the second state championship, which requires a lot of traveling, I cried, and they knew I was gonna cry, I think I started crying first, and then the female graduating senior started crying, and then so when we were done, the male seniors hugged me, and I was just like a mess. And this year, I also felt really sad about the kids graduating. Some of them I had all 4 years. There was one student I had all 4 years. Another one was one of those seniors who joined debate his senior year, and those are actually a lot of fun too, because students who join their senior year are 100% in there for learning. They're very intellectually curious. And I also had a student that I had for 2 years, and it felt like a lot more than 2 years. And I'm at the mall, so dealing with people crying. And so this school year, the school year that just ended, in the fall, I was hospitalized. I went to the ER with acute urticaria, which means my face was covered in hives, and it was very painful. I had one eye swollen shut at one point, and obviously it wasn't expected, and so I missed debate for 3 weeks. And while I was gone, one of my students who graduated this year, he got a card for me. It was a really nice get well card, and he organized to have the whole team sign the card, which is actually a lot of work. So he mailed it. It was just a really nice get well card, and it meant a lot to me, and I just felt really fortunate. And I would say what happened last fall was a very bad rematch for me. It was a very tough rematch because I was feeling the toughest punches of the myasthenia gravis, with the endometriosis, with the psoriasis, with the otitis media, and now with the acute urticaria all at the same time. So it's like if all of those opponents could hit me with their best shots, but not just individually, together, that's what puts you in the hospital. That's when you get one eye swollen shut. That's what happened last fall. And anyway, I just find it really, really hard to say goodbye when students graduate. This year was hard, and whether like having a student who's really nice for 1 year or 2 years or all 4 years is just difficult. And I wanted to know if there were any other educators who felt the same way. Do you have a hard time around graduation? Last year I cried at the end of the season, and I remember a couple days after graduation, then one of my students who had just graduated sent me an email thanking me for the past 4 years, and then all of our graduating seniors, they followed me on Twitter, and so I followed all of them back, and it was nice to know that it wasn't the last time I would be seeing them. But just let me know, are you a teacher? Are you a coach? Are you are you involved in education of some sort? And how do you deal with graduations? Bye. Oh, thanks. Bye.